Welcome back to another episode of the Salon Owners Holistic Blueprint Podcast. I'm your hostess, Jacqueline Rodriguez, and I am really excited about our guest today. She is a mentor of mine, a great friend, and I've known her for quite a few years. And just really excited to have all her knowledge and expertise on the podcast, helping us protect our energy, all sorts of things, like everything around energy and our business. So, without further ado, welcome, Emily. I'm Jacqueline Rodriguez, your host. And join me each week as we explore wellness, sustainability, and business success. Everything from attracting conscious clients to adopting eco friendly practices. We're going to cover it all to elevate your salon business. Welcome back to another episode of the Salon Owners Holistic Blueprint Podcast. I'm your hostess, Jacqueline Rodriguez, and I am really excited about our guest today. She is a mentor of mine, a great friend, and I've known her for quite a few years. And just really excited to have all her knowledge and expertise on the podcast, helping us protect our energy, all sorts of things, like everything around energy and our business. So, without further ado, welcome, Emily.
Thank you for having me. And I love talking about energy and especially with salon owners because you all are like basically therapists for people. People will tell you their deep dark secrets and in a couple of hours they're out the door and there you are with all of this information. So, I would love to help you understand how to better manage your energy during the day for yourself personally, but also for those of you who are working with other people or a team, how to really help yourself and help other people as well. Because, you don't want to get into that point where you're feeling like tired or resentful, or like maybe you're just not cut out for it anymore, or just like something's wrong. I'd love to just help give you some insights on all that today.
Yes, and that's perfect because that's what in the academy we really are focused on holistic salon,
Yeah.
running the salon in a holistic way. So that means clean ingredients, sustainability, green ingredients, but also how do we protect and energize ourselves, our team, and our clients. So
Mm,
it has like this multifold of all of these different aspects so that we're not burnt out or overwhelmed
mm.
because we know how that is. I mean, I was there
Yeah.
totally ready to give up because I just couldn't handle it anymore. It was too many things coming at me at once. So,
Yeah, totally understandable. And that's the number one thing that most salon owners, coaches, healers, leaders are all up against because the number one thing that we are lacking is the ability to clear and hold our energy containers. Most folks aren't taught how to do that, and especially salon owners, like who's going to teach you how to clear your energy and like hold the space? No one. And even people who are, Reiki practitioners, they're also lacking in the ability to hold containers in a business setting. So it's like, okay, great. I get how to do this for a client for, Reiki or whatever the energy modality that you do, but you don't apply that towards your salon and your day-to-day practices. So one of the things that the things that you might start feeling is like resentful towards your clients. You might start rationing your energy throughout the day. I know I come from the world, I've been doing energy healing for over 23 years, and I started off as a massage therapist in a brick and mortar. So I totally get like the lifestyle. So I would notice myself like rationing my energy, like, okay, if I have 6 clients today, I can give a little bit to this person, a little bit to that person, and I'm not giving my whole self to anybody. I'm really just like managing barely a little for everybody. And when you think about that, imagine what it feels like to be the recipient of that kind of energy. Like,
yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, like, yeah, I had a nice massage or I had a nice haircut, but like, I don't know, something was a little off today. And so what happens is they might not be fully transparent with you. They might be withholding information from you. And for me, as an energy healer, I really have to create a safe container for my clients so that they can open up and be really vulnerable and share things so that we can get to the root of the issue, clear it, and move on and open up for the next level. It's a little bit different as a hairstylist for sure, but it's not all that different. And so, one of the things that you can do every single day, like literally when you wake up in the morning, is set your intention. How do I want to feel today? What do I want my day to look like? And be really specific, really intentional. If you know you have 5 clients in a day, then you can go, all right, I know I have this amount of clients. I want this one to go smoothly. I know this one can be a little bit fussy. So I know today they're going to get exactly what they want. They're going to be in the best mood today. Everything is going to work out great. This person who can also be a little fussy and they keep changing their thing and blaming me for it, that's not going to happen today. Today they're going to realize like what a great stylist I am, and they're going to tell me that they've referred 3 friends to me. Okay, great. So that's how my day I want it to look. Just a little bit of intentionality. And then I like to visualize. Some people can get on board with that. Some people aren't so great with visualization. So I would envision myself in a big white bubble, clearing my space, clearing my energy, and bringing me into my highest alignment. And for folks who are brand new to energy and like no idea what those words are that I just said, imagine you're Glinda the Good Witch from The Wizard of Oz, and you have this sparkly bubble, and in that space, there's like magic and unicorns and money and happiness and all the things that you would wish for. That is what I put inside of my bubble. And then once I'm really clear and connected, and of course, I teach and I do energy healings for people. So if you don't know how to do it on yourself, I do them for you. I have multiple things that you can like check out meditations or different programs like Mastering Ascension. But just to envision yourself and set that intention is a really great way to start. And I would do the same thing for your salon chair, for your physical space. Imagine your space surrounded in a beautiful bubble and bring everything into that container that you really want for the day. I'm going to feel energized and balanced. I'm going to feel super happy. And from the moment I walk in the door to the moment I leave, it's going to be a great day. Like just that quick intention will really change how you feel, how people interact with you, and of course, how you're going home at the end of the day. You're not going to feel drained and exhausted and like some like 5 people or more just dumped all of their stuff on you and you have all this baggage. It's going to feel entirely different. Um, and I have trained a lot of hairstylists to do energy healing. Yeah. So, like it's not that far off. A lot of people who I've worked with are hairstylists and they apply it towards their practice. And in the realm of holistic hair, it's not as unusual to have a hairstylist who does a little bit of energy work with their treatments, or if you're doing like a scalp massage during the shampooing, that you're getting a little bit of that energy infusion in there. There's a lot of ways to integrate this work into your practice, but the best way is just to be it, to be that aligned, energized person. And people start to go, I really love your energy. What are you doing? And that's the best like little gateway for it.
Well, it really does go hand in hand because I've been in the industry for 24 years. And even before I knew what Reiki was or energy healing, like I didn't get into that until much later in my career.
Mm,
And I did it personally. Like I did it for me, not even thinking like, hey, this could really benefit my business. Kind of like you said, we kind of figure out for our own, but it goes so beautifully hand in hand because think about you as a hairstylist, anybody who's listening, like how close you are, much like massage therapists, like there's a lot of contact. We're
mhm,
talking to them. We not only are therapists, but we have a lot of physical contact and all of our energy is transferable. So if
mhm,
we're freaking out about things, they start feeling it and freaking out, and vice versa. Like, I can't tell you how many times before I knew how to, like, control my energy, how to protect it, and how to, like, bring people into that,
Mm,
that not only would I go home tired and exhausted and feeling drained, but I literally felt like I was holding the weight of the world on my shoulders because we
yeah.
were holding everybody else's energy.
Yeah.
So, thinking about that, like how beautiful this goes hand in hand, and just the intentionality of how you want to start your day, um, makes a huge difference. But then taking that a step further, even, and bringing that type of energy into your business and how you're touching your clients with the scalp massage. Like, I have had so many clients. I'm not even doing energy work necessarily, right? But we're just giving a great scalp massage, and everybody loves a great scalp massage. And when you do it with intentionality and you know how you've been able to protect your energy, they feel it on a whole new level
Mm,
without you having to do anything else.
mm,
And they can't put a finger on what you're doing, but they can tell that there's a difference between how you're doing things and the energy of just even walking into your space. So
yes. Yeah.
it's so beneficial, and I love that you work with a lot of us hairstylists because it does make a big difference in the industry.
Yeah. And I mean, it's been proven that within 3 seconds of walking into a space, anyone can feel the energy in the space. This is not just for highly sensitive people, this is everybody. So if your space is cluttered, and if you think about it, I have this workshop that I do called How to Clear Your Money Blocks. And I have this slide that shows a person in like a white business suit. I say this is kind of like when you start the day, you're in this light white suit, and every person that you interact with, it's like a different color being splattered all over that white suit. And so by the end of the day, like you said, you feel this burden. You do, because you have all of this energy all over you because you haven't been really diligent about clearing yourself. And the easiest way to clear yourself is, again, just the moment that you start to feel a little bogged down, imagine like a beautiful bubble or even just like a waterfall washing over you, clearing anything that doesn't serve you off of you. When you're able to do that regularly, people do feel that. So when they walk into your space, it doesn't feel like paint splatter everywhere. Like, ugh, it just feels like there's stuff going on in here. Like, I don't know for you. I mean, I see a virtual therapist nowadays, but I remember going into a therapist's office and you're like, stuff has gone down in this room. Like, you just know it. You just know it. And you don't want your salon to feel that way. You want it to feel fresh and open and vibrant. Because sometimes, like, people cannot put a finger on it. They just know it feels good or it feels bad. And that is enough. It either feels good and I want to be here more, or it feels bad and I don't want to be here that often. I went to a same hairstylist for years, even when I wasn't doing, I used to go to her exclusively because she would do like really great balayage. And I was like, great, she does it the way I like it. She's pretty close. I don't care what the price is, I'll pay it. And she was more than probably some other people. I really didn't care. But she had crystals in her space. She had really soft spa music. She would leave me alone and just let me process in like a beautiful room that was outlooking a beautiful lake. Like the environment was really conducive for me to have the experience that I wanted. And it was always so fresh and so clean feeling energetically. Um, that whole space was unique to her. I've been to many salons that you walk in and it's loud and it's boisterous. I go to a place near me in my town and I don't go there for the ambiance. It's not, I go there because it's close and convenient. And at this point, I'm just cutting my hair. I'm not doing anything fancy these days. And so I'm saying, okay, well, would I still go to the other salon because I like it better? Yeah, I would, but I'm no longer spending hours sitting in a chair. And so for people who are like, well, I am doing fast turnarounds, I'm doing bang trims and I'm doing, kids haircuts and I'm doing these like what shorter appointments that people aren't sitting with you for as long. They're still going to have to choose between you and everybody else who's just like you in the market. And so if your space feels amazing and welcoming and warm, and they feel themselves when they're with you, that is what makes all the difference. That is your unique selling proposition, is you, your energy. You are the value.
Yes, because not and when people think about holistic salons, they do picture that first one you talked about,
Mhm.
like serene spa music. And while I have a lot of that going on here, you don't have to have your salon like that. If that's just not who you are, that's okay too. Holistic just means that you're not overwhelmed and you're not toxic overload, right? And you're conscious about the things that you are doing. So you're really intentional. If you like that faster pace, when you set that up in your space, but you're intentional about it, you know how to manage your energy, you know how to clear and protect your energy, that alone can make such a big make it or break it moment for your clients.
Mm.
And they won't ever know why exactly, right? They, like we keep saying, you can't put a finger on it, but it makes the biggest world of difference and how you can start to attract those clients to you. Because
Mhm.
that's another big thing that when I got into energy healing, it was okay, so I've got this. I love what I'm doing. I'm not as drained and everything, but I want to start attracting the clients who now want what I have to offer. And that's another big piece of the energy that I learned much from you and from other like things that I've been in, but how to start attracting the right clients to you, because that's that whole nother layer of not working with clients who you know don't love being there,
Mm.
for lack of better words.
Mhm.
So what would you say, like what are your ideas behind that and to really attract the right clients using your energy?
The best way to attract your ideal client is to be that energy. Your thoughts are become things. The law of attraction is a universal law. So if your thoughts are, I don't like my job, all my clients are annoying and they complain about everything. Nobody is willing to pay like asking price. I have to always discount myself. You'll attract that. That's as simple as it is. If that's what you're focusing on, that's what you will attract. I have worked as a coach to multiple salon owners, and they have said those same things. But here's the deal. When you start raising your prices, there might be those couple people who scoff at it. And that's fine. They can go elsewhere if they don't want to pay those prices. But it's not just the price, it's the energy. I'm only available for this type of clientele. You need to be very specific. And unfortunately, most stylists, again, healers, coaches, we're kind of all grouped together in the same ballpark in that we're just happy to get a warm body in the space. And that's just not enough. When you start to go, well, I really want to also be happy with doing what I do. I don't want to just like do this service. I think I deserve to have clients that I love. I call them soulmate clients. So in order to attract your soulmate clients, you need to start writing down who is your soulmate client. Like write it up on a piece of paper, like you're ordering it from universe, the restaurant to the universe. Okay, I would like this person to be really positive, really encouraging. They love referring people to me. They're super easygoing. They're laid back. They're on time. They always pay. They always tip. Like whatever it is for you, make a list. If you look at your clientele, like look at that roster and go, which of these people is that person? Maybe there's a couple of them. Great. Focus on those couple of people and be like, thanks, more of you, please. Oh, uh, Tanya is exactly who I love. Tanya, do you have any more friends? You are amazing. Keep like fanning that flame. How do I get more Tanyas in my life? How do I get more of these people who I'm loving the connection with and who are willing to pay whatever? Like I just said about my last stylist, like I didn't care what her prices were. I didn't even really know them. I just paid what she said it was. I'm like, wow, I think I just spent like $400 today. I think that was like a lot, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy because I didn't care. Like more of that, please. More people who are wanting to do extensions. If you want to get into extensions, if you want to get into like custom, like wild, vibrant colors, like focus on who you want and start talking to them. And that starts with your energy and your intentionality. And then also it then starts to cascade outward because you have to put that out there. And I always say to clients, when you're driving down a street, how do you know the house is what house is for sale? Well, the house that's for sale has a sign outside of it. That's how you know. It's very simple. And in this market, people put a sign out that says it's coming soon because it's that hot. They want that house sold before it's sold. Like they want it, they want buyers in before they put it on the market, basically. Coming soon means put your offer in now. We're going to get a list together, and whoever has the highest offer with the least amount of contingencies, you win. Um, so that's what we need to do as a marketer, because as a salon owner, hairstylist, coach, healer, practitioner, whatever you are, you need to put it out there what you're available for and what you're offering. So that means this is a little tough love part. You need to walk the walk. You say you want to help people. You say you want to do vibrant colors. You say you want to do extensions. You say you want to have people who really are in like more of a luxury market. But is your social media on point? Are you writing to that particular clientele? Does your bio say that? Are you emailing your customers and telling them that every single week? Walk the walk. Don't just say it to like a couple friends or just think it in your head. You have to start doing it. And for those of you who are like being called out a little bit right now, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. Your energy feels like you're kind of like zipping up like a little flower going back into it. Feels like, oh God. But here's the deal. You know it's true. And you cannot hide anymore, because in this time frame, you have to be able to put yourself out there in a way that people get you, they understand who you are and why they should go to you. Whether it's a brick and mortar, it's a sign out front that says now offering vivid colors, like, okay, that seems pretty obvious. Or it's an email that says that same thing, or it's a post on your social media platform. But you have to be able to like hold your shingle out, like put the sign out, let people know that you're there and what you're available for. The best thing you can start doing is telling your current clients if you're making that shift and transition. Attracting your soulmate clients is very simple, but it's not easy, because part of the root of the problem is that stylists who struggle with this, attracting their soulmate client, it's because you are not innately understanding your worth. And that is something that you need to look at. That is typically something that shows up within your childhood, how your childhood went, what you were taught, what your values were, how you were treated, what kind of traumatic events you've been through, how you developed or didn't develop resilience growing up. And it's really hard to be confident in yourself in attracting your soulmate clients and do that well if you don't find worthiness within yourself. If you don't realize that you are the value, no one is going to tell you that. You're not going to be able to like have enough clients coming in that you're finally going to be confident in yourself. It does take a fair amount of inner work and healing those deeper wounds that are probably crying out every single day. The problem is, and this is where I guess we're getting a little deep. Um, this is what I do. I'm just following where spirit is leading right now. I'm just listening to the messages that I'm hearing. So the problem is that a lot of times when we are in these careers, especially service-based careers, is we put a lot of weight on our clients to tell us that we're like good girls. Like, you're a good girl, I'll keep coming in. And the truth is that like you could have 25 people who are like, you're so great and I love you. And you get that one who is a problem, and they have something to say, or they leave a negative review, or they don't tip you, and your head starts spinning. You're like, what the hell is going on in my life? I'm terrible. I should quit careers and I should da 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 da. I need to get more certifications. I need to add da da da, and I have to do that. And like you start to look for answers outside of yourself. What I would invite you all to do is to drop into your heart. That is the place where your answers will be found. I do teach intuition for a living, and this is the truth. You know the answers, they're all within you. And so if you can drop into your heart and sort of start getting curious, where do I not feel worthy in my life? Um, in that time when I think when I don't feel worthy, when did I first have that thought that I'm not worthy? What happened? Where was I? Who was I with? Did somebody say something to me? And you start going into those memories and you start finding little hints of what happened. And these little traumatic breadcrumbs will lead you into discovering parts of yourself that have been wounded and are having a hard time recovering. And if you can spend some time with that version of you, whether it was your 20-year-old self or your 5-year-old self or whenever it was, whatever happened, and offer up some love, offer up some tenderness, some compassion, some unconditional love, and really bring that wounded aspect of yourself into wholeness, whatever that means. Maybe it's, that little girl would like you to clean up her room for her, give her a new dress, and take her out for ice cream. Maybe that wounded teenager needs you to just sit with her and listen to her because her voice didn't matter. Nobody listened to her. And so she needs you to just be an advocate and a confidant and somebody who can just be a trustworthy adult in her life. Maybe she is that 20-something-year-old who's out on her own for the first time and everybody tells her that she's gonna be destined for homelessness if she follows her passion to become a stylist. And give her the grace of your ear and to say, listen, honey, it actually works out way better than you could imagine. You're doing great. And fuck all those people, what they said to you, because they don't mean they don't mean anything. Those people are living mediocre lives and they have never done a thing that you've done. They've never taken a risk in their life, so don't listen to them. Really being able to nurture these parts of ourselves. And the thing about healing that a lot of people misunderstand is it's like people go, oh, well, I healed those daddy issues that one time. And sadly, as a practitioner, I've worked on tens of thousands, probably even more than I can count. Um, the thing is that the healing journey is really one that evolves. And my guides once showed me it's kind of like if you were sweeping a stairway and the stairs go up and you sweep the bottom step and you're like, I clean the stairs. They're all clean now. Well, yes, the bottom step is definitely clean. However, there is another dozen steps above you that have dirt and dust on them. And so as you grow, as you ascend, both energetically, spiritually, financially, you age into it. Like there's all this progression in your life. And so there's always going to be another level, another step that needs cleaning. And I know for myself that when I first started to transition from brick and mortar into the online space, I had a lot of steps that needed cleaning. I had a lot of healer wounds. I had these martyr wounds. I had these wounds that were like the broke healer. I had all this stuff that was coming up for me that really needed to be looked at. And I did such an amazing job clearing it. I grew my business exponentially in such a short amount of time, and it kept growing, keeps growing, keeps growing. And no matter what level I'm at, there's these things that kind of rear their heads again and go, oh, it's time to look at this again. And so it is an evolution of looking inside of yourself. And also it takes a lot of courage to do this work.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot easier. And this, like, the majority of people aren't wanting or willing to slow down and to really go inward to do this deeper amount of work. I think we're at a time now where healing is becoming a lot more mainstream. We have Dr. Gabor Mate, who's got like New York Times bestseller multiple times and is becoming like a household name. Glennon Doyle, who's helping people to understand about being seen. Like there's Brene Brown, and she's got these specials. And so it's so much more common than it ever has been to understand your mental health and how important it is to prioritize your mental health. It is easier to just numb it out, to forget it. I guess we're going to talk about alcohol now. So there's that. I'm just following wherever I'm being guided at the moment. Um, because that's one of the easiest things we can do is we numb it out with like, okay, that was a hard day at the salon. Let's go out and grab a few drinks. And that's fine. If that's you, like there's no judgment on you. But also understand how that affects your energy. Does it help your energy or does it hinder it? Does it make you feel aligned and vibrant and charismatic, or does it kind of make you feel a little sad and drained? I know for me personally, ending my relationship with alcohol was kind of natural progression. I didn't have like a drinking problem. It was just like it became too hard to get back into my alignment. It was like heavy lifting. And I was just like, this is a burden. Like, there is no health benefit to this. There is no mental benefit. There's no physical benefit. I just can't. It's too much. Like if you go out to dinner every single day of the week and you're eating fried food, your body just feels like hell. Like it was the same thing for me. It was like, I just can't do this anymore. And when I made that decision, I started to notice my own triggers coming up a lot more frequently. I would go, oh, I'm having a hard day. Oh, I should get a drink. Oh, this is really challenging. I should get a drink. And I get to do that work even still with sugar. I go, oh, I really would like to not feel this right now. And so I think one of the things I can invite you to do if you're wanting to do some deeper work on your worthiness and your energy is to start kind of asking, like, is if I was in my highest alignment, is this something I would consciously choose for myself? And we all know like our bad habits, like we all have them. We're only human after all.
Mhm.
But also when you're going to grab the chocolate cake or the chips or the drink or whatever it is that your vice is, just maybe ask, like, is there something I don't want to feel right now? Is there something that I'm not wanting to feel right now? And for me personally, I've just been processing a lot around sadness. I was thinking that I was feeling sadness. Sorry, anxiety. I thought I was feeling anxiety. And I had started doing some deeper work and I uncovered that it wasn't actually anxiety. It was easier for me to feel anxious than to identify sadness. And
Mm.
so in my life, I tend to be like a ray of sunshine. I'm like the light in people's life. I'm very cheery. I'm very jovial. We laugh a lot. I am. And I think that was part of what it was hard for me and my identity to go, okay, well, I think it's okay to feel sadness. What am I feeling sad about? And so I don't know, I think we have a lot of things that we can discuss around client attraction, managing your energy, and managing your energy isn't just one facet. There's so many things that you can do to help hold your container from the beginning of your day, set that intention. In terms of managing your energy for yourself, for your clients, for your team, for your family, yes, intentionality is a really big deal. Um, but we have to be really diligent about what we're doing to keep our energy container. And if we're feeling kind of icky and wonky, go to the bathroom, clear yourself, start fresh. It doesn't have to be the end of the week until you're dragging and like feeling sick to stop. You can, in a moment when you start to feel a little off, just start to get a little more introspective and curious. So you can do that really easily. Obviously, you can take the deeper route if you're really wanting to go there, doing some journaling, hire a coach or a healer or, whatever it is that you want to do. But it's an interesting conversation to protect your energy for sure.
Yeah. And I think it's such an important conversation because you said something earlier, and this is what I talk to my students about all the time is we've got to learn how to slow down a little bit. And I say that being one of the people who, I mean, I am an energizer bunny. I go, 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 go until I just crash, right?
Mm,
So I have to stop and slow down and see where I'm at, how I'm feeling, what is in place. Like, why am I wanting to go so fast and not, slow down in order to like see what's actually happening and how I'm feeling. We just cover it up, right? So whether it's alcohol or sugar, like you said, or you're just busying yourself up just to not have to feel some of the other things. It's so important as salon owners, and especially if you're taking this time to shift into more of a holistic practice, is take a moment to slow down.
mm,
See how you're feeling, see how you can set the intention, see how you can start attracting not only your clients, but your stylists to come and work with you and like create that bubble because we can create that bubble. It
mm,
is within us and it can be such a beautiful thing that is unique to you. And if you're going too fast, or if you just say you don't have time, or that you, you know, push things other things in the way, then you don't have that time to kind of slow down and see how you're feeling or how to even start to implement these things into your business.
mm.
And I know with a lot of my students, like that's like number one thing. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. So
Let's talk
slowing
about
down.
that. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that. I don't have the time. One of my favorite excuses. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't
Mhm.
have the energy. These are all great excuses. So I call them an excuse because they're not true. Everyone has the same amount of time. So how does one person manage to do X and this person cannot? One of my best friends is actually somebody who is, how would you call it? Productivity specialist, I think she would be called. She's a New York Times best-selling author, and she helps people with productivity. And one of the things she says to people is, around managing your time, it's not about doing more things. It's about doing actually fewer things very well. And so the thing is, we all have time, but you're not prioritizing the things that you really want. You're prioritizing whatever it is that's right in front of you. You're reactive to the life that's happening in front of you. Um, versus consciously creating the morning routine or the daily routine that actually fulfills you and lights up your life. So for some people, I don't have time to meditate. Okay. Everybody has time to meditate. So I always start with the 1 minute meditation because literally it's excuse proof. That's how I started meditating every single day. Is if you just give yourself permission to do it for 1 minute, you don't have to sit for 30 minutes in silence and like this
Mhm.
perfect little lotus flower. You can just give yourself 1 minute. So okay, if I have 1 minute to just slowly breathe, okay, I did the thing that makes me feel good. Because I did the thing that makes me feel good, I'm going to make other better decisions in my life. Okay, so it starts to cascade. So when you can start to manage your day in a way that looks and feels good, and I'm not saying make an endless to-do list that you're never going to complete. What are the couple of things that you want to get done today that are going to make you feel awesome? And everybody has time. And so if you ever catch yourself saying, I don't have the time, call yourself out. That is bullshit. That is an excuse. It's not true. Everybody has time. What you can't say, because you're all looking for an alternative excuse, right? Like, well, what am I supposed to say? If you're going to call me out on that, what I would say is that is not a priority right now.
Thank you for joining today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed the training. And if you have any questions about anything I talked about in today's training, or honestly, anything I've talked about on this podcast, I want you to go to www.cleanbeautybiz.com/advisor. Or you can click the link in the show notes where you can ask me any questions you have about this episode or anything else that I have covered on this podcast. Again, that link is www.cleanbeautybiz.com. And this amazing little tool allows you to get your specific questions answered by me 24/7.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair. So if somebody was to say, Emily, can you make a whole new website for this business? Uh, yeah, I don't have time for that. But that's also because it's not a priority of mine. My priority is 1, 2, and 3. And every single week, I look at my appointment book and I go, what is on my list and what is a priority for me this week? This podcast interview, I had it originally scheduled for another date and it wasn't one of the top priorities that week. And I had other things going on. I was traveling. I was like, no, it's not a top priority. I'm going to move it. That is it. It's called managing your energy. So I don't do anything I don't want to do. So when I show up, I'm 100% available to all the people and the things in my life because I want them there. It's not by accident, it's by design. I've chosen that. My son today wants me to pick him up early from school. Sure thing. I'm going to pick him up right after this interview. Pick him up early. We're going to go play soccer outside. We have a whole plan. But that's because I've chosen that. He knows that's not my normal plan. I'm choosing that plan. And how do you think it feels when somebody knows you're making them a priority?
So good.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
He's like, sweet, you're picking me up. I know you don't usually do that. I got this thing. And so when it comes to slowing down, it's not even that you have to slow down. And I too am an energizer bunny. When people do my astrological chart and human design, they're like, what is the party of planets over here? And I'm like, I don't even know what you mean by that. And they say, well, you must have a lot of energy. And I go, aha, yes, that's an understatement. So I too have to manage myself because innately I'm like, I could do these 90 things today. That'd be amazing. I know realistically, 2 of them will happen. And I don't want to feel like crap because I didn't get to do the rest of them.
Yeah.
So I have to, and so somebody also, I'm going to tie this in, which is somebody recently said, she's a new mom and she's like, is it possible to have work-life balance? Like, is that a thing? I'm like, what? Like, is the thing? What's the thing? Like, we are entrepreneurs. We can do whatever the hell we want. Wild West. This is a lawless land. Like, of course it is. We can't have work-life balance if we're working 40 plus hours a week at a regular job. I don't think that's work-life balance. I work from 9 to 3 most days because I like to be up in the morning, have my early morning routine by myself. Then I take care of my kids, get them off to school. I do my work thing, and then I magically turn back into a mom so that I can do after school activities and play dates and cook dinner and sit down with my family for dinner every single night. That, to me, is what feels good. But that might not work for you. So I would say this, in order to create that kind of business that you like and to have the space that you need, why don't you plan it that way? Like, I don't understand why this is like complicated. And I talk with clients like when I sign up for like my year-long coaching, like, well, I don't know if I can sign up for this because I know you're going to have me sell my stuff and I don't want to be too busy. I'm like, why would I have you create a business that you don't want? Like, that's the opposite of what I do. I'm teaching you how to have a sustainable business within the confines of what your work. If you only want to work 3 days a week, let's do this. Like, I love that business model. Let's make it so you have no client calls on Fridays. All right, you're only doing a 4-day work week. Whatever you want, let's design it that way. Let's be very intentional.
Yes.
But that's the thing is, in order to have that space, you do need to create it. And so if you're living a life that you would not have intentionally created, start changing it. You are the co-creator of your life. You have made all of those decisions. So instead of complaining about what is, look at it, be honest with it. If you go, I don't like working until 6 o'clock every day, I'll tell you what, I worked Saturdays forever. And it wasn't, I mean, so I transitioned out of my brick and mortar into the online space and I was still doing calls on Saturdays because I was just like in the habit of doing it. And then when I was like, I hate doing calls on Saturdays. I want to be with my family. I want to be in the garden. I want to be doing, I don't know anything but this. And so I just Okay, blocked off Saturdays on my schedule. I was no longer available. It was as simple as that.
Hmm.
It's like, why would I do this? It's my choice. And so if you're doing things that you don't want to do, change it. It seems
Yeah.
so obvious, doesn't it?
It does seem obvious. And what I have found, especially in this industry where you do work Saturdays, you work nights, that's when our clients are there. We're so indoctrinated to believe that this
And
is
it's
the
not
only
true.
way.
And it's
Exactly.
and it's not true. When do we go to the dentist? Do we go at 9 o'clock at night? No.
No,
We never go to the
people make
dentist.
time.
We never go to the doctor at that time because they're not available. So if you are not available, your clients cannot book there. If your clients can't see you because that's their only availability, then guess what? You're going to open up availability for clients who can do that.
Exactly. There is somebody out there because not everybody wants to work 9 to 3. Some
Right.
people prefer to wake up and they want to work at 5 a.m. to
Hmm.
1.
Right.
That's their ideal schedule. That to me would be complete torture. Or somebody else wanting to work 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's
Hmm.
always going to be clients out there that align with you. It's being intentional, it's making the decision and then sticking to it.
Yeah.
And then what, like we talked earlier about marketing, is then you market
Hmm.
to the clients
Hmm.
who then want that because
Right.
somebody's out there going, gosh, I really wish like my schedule doesn't work with anybody else's. I'd love to come in at 5 a.m. or
Right.
11 p.m.
Totally.
There's also a stylist out there that wants that. So
There
you
are
get to
billions of
create it.
people on the planet. You don't think you can find a
Exactly.
handful who like your schedule? I mean, it's so insane. It's the lack mindset because if your
Yes.
mindset says there's not enough, there's not enough, there's never enough, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're manifesting.
Yep.
For folks who don't know like the law of attraction, you can start listening to Esther Hicks and like get in the vibe of it. Like start to shift your mindset, start to see that everything you think is what you create. So like it's hard at first and there's going to be those doubts at first and your ego is going to have a field day and be like, no, that's not going to work, that worked for that person. Well, you know what, there are plenty of people who went from like the discount Walmart special pricing person to the luxury high tier pricing person because there's
Mhm.
something for everybody and you can differentiate yourself in a lot of different ways. And maybe like there are those like, you know, crazy gym people who are up at like I have plenty of friends who are up at like 4 in the morning working out before they're like, well, what else am I going to do? I'm just going to sleep. I might as well get a workout. And I'm like, whoa, okay, aggressive, right? But that's their if there was a stylist that was open at 5 a.m.,
Yes.
they would be like, I would be in their seat every single time. So that's the thing is like, if it's not working for you, you must change it. And, the one thing that you can start to do is like a little bit at a time. So if you're like, I know I'm not going to do weekends anymore. Okay, so tell your clients, I'm going to be phasing out my Saturday appointments. I'm going to start with doing only 2 a month, and then it's going to go down to 1 a month, and then it's going to be completely gone. So it's going to be in phases. Okay, easy. No one's traumatized. No one's freaking out. Everyone's happy. Same with evenings. I'm only going to be doing 2 nights a week this month. And that's what I'm going to start doing going forward. So if you still want to keep that evening appointment, you totally can, but it's only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are my only nights. Then it's only going to be on Tuesdays. And then you know what's next? Mama
Yeah.
no work nights no more. It's like it can be that easy, but
Mhm.
we are like we hold ourselves to these impossible standards and rules like it's the law, and if we break the law, then we will be banished from all of eternity and we'll die alone, penniless in a ditch. And that's not true. It's not true at
No.
all. We get to make the rules. And so if it's not working for you in some way, and like I can do this all day. If anybody has a problem with something, I will tell you how to fix it. It's like just I want everyone to live their best life. You can't wait
Yeah.
until one day someday.
No.
You deserve to have happiness now. And like I said, it could be in phases. Same with your pricing, same with your clients, same with your offerings. You can be in phases, be gentle. It doesn't have to be like a band-aid ripping it off. You're like, I only did men's haircuts and now I'm doing locks and I'm doing whatever. Like it can be so slow and so gradual. You have to make it work for you and your personality. And what feels right for you is not going to be right for everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I want to be mindful of your time as well. So I do want to like start to bring this back together. I really think that like step one, for me at least, was instead of living in this, I always want something else and I don't know how to get there, make a decision.
Mhm.
Just decide the one thing you want to change. And then you can start to be very intentional in that place. You can start to like bring that into your life. And once you get hooked and you can see, like, hey, I made a decision, I was intentional about it, and it happened. It's like fuel to your fire. And then all of a sudden, for me, that's what happened. Like I was like, oh, I actually am in control. I
Mhm.
can change my reality. This does
Mhm.
not have to be like this. So I just love it. It's such an amazing tool that I don't think enough people tap into, that literally can change your life. It has mine, and there's so many different ways to go about it. But I just appreciate you and everything that you're doing, and for being, one of my mentors, and just being in this space. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the listeners who are still listening right now. You stuck with us. We went through some
Yes.
hard stuff, and you kept going, and you said, "I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna grow. We got this." So, that says a lot about you and your, who are the listeners who are still listening. Is if you're still here, it means that you're here for greatness. You're not here for mediocrity. You are ready to do the work, and you're willing to shift your energy so that you can live the life that you desire. So kudos to you. And I love reaching out to all the listeners who show up to different shows that I'm on. If you love this episode and you're like, hey, this Emily person, I want to connect with her, I would love to connect with you. I'm most active on Instagram, but you can find everything else about me on my website, which I'm sure you'll link up and people
Yep,
will
it'll be
know all
all in the
about it.
show notes.
Yep. Yeah. Just Emily Aarons for basically everything. And, it's been really great to have this chat with you. And I hope that your listeners really enjoyed it.
Oh, I know they will.
Mhm.
There are people, so they're just going deeper, and I appreciate all of your time, and everyone who's listening. Make sure you go and check Emily out. She's fantastic. Just a world of knowledge and such a great heart. She really, really cares about everyone, and the way that we're running business to be happy, right? Like that's what we're in this for. We do not have to struggle as entrepreneurs. It does not have to be lonely. Reach out. You know that you can always find me on Instagram. I'm there too. So I'm the real person on the other end, DMing you back. And thank you again for listening to this episode, and make sure that you tune in for next week's as well. Thank you for tuning in to the Salon Owner's Holistic Blueprint. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow and subscribe. Until next time, stay inspired, stay passionate, and keep thriving in the world of holistic beauty.